The immortal John Hancock here, and I'm happy to have my gaming brother from another mother, Jay Malone of Square Pegs. Welcome to my channel.
Thank you for having me, as always. Always happy to be here. This is the secret second episode of
Yes,
the Super Retro Brothers. We have a first episode lost to time.
yeah, it just did not record properly. I don't know, clicked the wrong button, but so happy to start this and Super Retro Brothers official episode 1, and we're going to talk about all things retro and maybe some pop culture, and just really excited about having you on. And you've been a good friend of mine. We talk weekly and talk about gaming. We talk about YouTube, and just happy to have you on. And so, what have you been playing lately?
Honestly, I'm playing a game right now on the Switch called Carl.
Oh,
It's a very fun kind of precision platformer, and it's developed by fellow YouTuber Nintendo. And it's legitimately one of my favorite games of the year. Like, no joke. I'm having so much fun with it. It's been a long time since I've sat down and spent the time to actually beat a game. And this one is I just beat the last boss earlier today, and now I'm going back to 100% everything. That's how much fun it is. So
very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Um, I've been playing a few things. I had more time last week or a few weeks ago, and but I completed Roar of Revenge, and it's an
nice.
indie title, and that was a lot of fun. I did. I'm currently working on a video for Atari Mania, and so I'm happy to share that next week, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I think people are going to be happy with that. It's kind of a WarioWare style game, and it's got a lot of mini games and nods to Atari. Can't wait to talk more about it and share it.
Awesome.
Um, and so that's it. Doing a lot of like, I'm playing a lot of like indie stuff. Just got done with the Playdate session, and that was kind of neat.
Nice.
Playdate honestly is something I haven't delved into. It's one of those things I checked it out, put it on a shelf, and then went back to it. There's so many more games that are available on it now, so it's kind of awesome to check that out.
That's really cool. Yeah, I've got the only other thing I've been playing lately is I actually just got the Cursed Knight in the Kickstarter
Oh,
physical.
sweet.
And yeah, it's so good. I played the demo when you and Riggs did your videos on it a few months ago. And I loved it. And I immediately hopped on the Kickstarter and backed it. And it got to me like 2 months early, which is crazy. Like, I wasn't expecting this until the end of the year or early next year, and it came in a couple days ago. And it's just
Gotta love that.
it's so yeah, it's fantastic to get something from Kickstarter delivered not only on time but early and ahead of schedule. So it's been really fun. It's a very hard game, but it's really really good.
Very cool. Nice to see that they're delivering, and it's always nice to hear positive stories about Kickstarter games being
Yep.
funded and released and on time and even early. It sounds like.
Yep.
All right. Well, there's a big retro gaming event, handheld, sorry, coming out very soon, and that's the Evercade EXP. And I know that you are excited about it as well as I. And just what are you most excited about it?
Well, the big improvement for it obviously is Wi-Fi. Having an internet connection built into it is going to be huge. It's one of my favorite things about the Verses is being able to just get online right away, not having to worry about hooking it up to my computer and downloading updates or anything that way. So that way, it's going to constantly be moving forward and getting updated. And I love that they're going to have tape mode in there. The
Yes.
fact that I can flip it and play those shooters, the right where they're supposed to be played vertically is it's just going to be awesome. And just the possibilities are endless from that too. Like, they can start putting pinball stuff on there.
Oh,
It's
oh yeah.
it's just it's exciting, and I love everything that Blaze does. So I mean, I was in when they announced it anyway, even though it's like kind of a superfluous update based on the original handheld, but I don't care. I'm down. It's going to be great.
Yeah, the original handheld was good, but I think as I played it more, I saw, man, this really could benefit from a hardware design, like an update, kind of like
Yep.
Nintendo does all the time.
Yep.
And with what they've done, looks like they've really addressed many of the issues with the first release. And have and then add on top of that all those Capcom games,
Yeah.
all those arcade style games, some of my favorite games of all time are included in the hardware. And so play them right there. and I think this is going to be a win-win. And I know that really Evercade has really done a good job at continuously offering software. Um, I love that they're announcing a new computer line.
Yep.
So C64. I'm fingers crossed for VIC-20 and Amiga and some other classic computers, as I think that that's going to be a welcome addition to what they've already are continuing to offer.
Yeah, my immediate thought when they announced the Commodore 64 stuff was excitement, because that was my first computer, was a C64 128, and I was just like, oh, this is going to be great. But then I started thinking about it and like realizing that they're a UK company. Like the first thing I thought was like, man, I hope we get a Spectrum collection, because that's such a gray area for me and something I don't know a lot about, and I would love the option to be able to play those on an Evercade. I don't know how compatible it would be. I don't know what you would need, because I'm just so clueless about about the Spectrum. But a collection on that, if it was possible, would be fantastic.
The ZX Spectrum is something that I discovered late in my collecting. I just got a Sinclair Spectrum 128 2 plus. I don't know. I'm saying the model number wrong. But I had it custom made, and gosh, it's so difficult in the States to get original hardware,
Yep.
and then the Spectrum Next, which hopefully will be delivered soon, the second hardware rolling out. That looks like there's games continuously made for that, but for most part, uh, ZX Spectrum stuff is pretty easy to emulate. There is like a virtual keyboard that would probably have to be incorporated,
Sure.
or even I'm wondering too if you can just add a USB keyboard and play them that way.
That would be awesome.
And so yeah, I think Spectrum's coming. There's so many games for the Spectrum computer, and it's just a wonderful classic computer. Definitely something I want to delve into more, and looking forward to seeing what Blaze announces.
Yeah, me too. Like
Per-
just the fact that they have such a deep care for classic games is awesome. I mean, that's kind of our bread and butter. It's the stuff that we're really into. But the fact that they also show that love to independence as well, and they're bringing so many indie games forward for people to play on physical hardware is just awesome. And I don't think that it can be stated enough how much goodwill they have from gamers and from the industry right now. It's awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on it, and definitely be doing a video on my channel showing this new hardware, and testing some games with it and give you my thoughts. All right. Well, we got some other news. We got a couple gaming events coming
Yeah,
up, and one that we're going to be at, and I'm excited to talk about that. But
me too.
we got Portland Retro Gaming Expo right around the corner. That's a big one for me in my backyard, and one that I've been to every year, and excited about that. And I'll be offering some homebrew products there as well. So there's so much. Part of my collection will be on display, my N64 collection. If you haven't heard, I'll be doing video just to share with others who can't go, as well as my Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man collection as well. All the games uh, connected to those series will be in the museum, as well as I'll be talking a little bit about my own plans for a museum and where I'm at, and be doing a panel and sharing that on my channel as well.
That's
So
awesome.
excited about that as well.
Yeah, I wish I could do Portland this year. It's not on the cards this year, unfortunately. I'm planning right now for next year to be my first Portland Retro Gaming Expo. Next year we're kind of we tend to stay local to the Midwest, like we do Midwest Gaming Classic and the one we're talking about coming soon, and Korgs. But next year I'm hoping to branch out a little bit. I want to get to Southeast Game Exchange. I want to get to Portland Retro Gaming. And yeah, it's something where I will look at and live vicariously through your videos, and I'm sure through Metal Jesus's and John Riggs videos as well, and just kind of plan for what I'm going to do next year. So
Well, flights so expensive right now. It's
yeah.
ridiculous how expensive flights are, and that's impacting a lot of things. Who's invited to shows, as well as travel. It's super expensive. So
Yep.
I do not. I totally understand keeping it local. I did that for many years, where I just really just stayed local. Didn't think about going to other venues. I was honored to be able to come to Torg this year, and really excited about that. It'll be my first time out that way, I do believe. And then I'm going to Korg's next year. And so I'm excited about attending that. And so really, checking out different gaming events, because, one thing that people don't realize is that different areas of the United States offer totally different game experiences.
Yeah.
And you can have a big show like Midwest Gaming Classic is about the size of PRGE, but it's a totally different experience. There's different vendors, they have different games, and there's different offerings regionally for games. Like a lot of classic games, on the West Coast, we're kind of known as kind of like heavy on Nintendo and Xbox. But if you go to other regions, it's a little bit more balanced, more Sega, and some of that is determined by distribution centers as well as just availability. Certain games are easier to find in different regions. That's what I've found going to the many game expos over the years.
I did notice because I've we have Torg coming up in Columbus in November, which is going to be amazing. And Korg's, which is going to be next May. I don't know if Gary has dates on that yet, but Korg's is something where I realized how different the ecosystems of conventions are, because Midwest Gaming Classic is an event. Like it's big, it's loud, there's a lot going on every second of every day. And Korg's was a lot more low key, but had so many more games offered. And it's a third of the size of Midwest Gaming Classic. And they both offer something different. And they're both excellent, but Korg's had so much stuff where it was, going through and finding old Atari cartridges or old ColecoVision cartridges. And there were so many vendors with that stuff at Korg's. And it was so fun to experience. I actually spent more at Korg's than I did at Midwest Gaming Classic, which I did not anticipate happening. And I can't wait to go back next year.
Really, really want to see, when you talk about all those vendors with Atari and stuff and the older stuff, that's kind of the stuff I gravitate to. I tend to just collect stuff typically that's less mainstream. As when you go 100% mainstream, you're getting the prices skyrocket.
Yep.
The popularity, GameCube right now is as popular as it ever has been, because that age, it's going on that 20 plus year timeline, and people have grown up and they want to go experience their childhood. They want to have that disposable income, and some of those games are getting pretty expensive. And so that typically is when I don't want to collect something, but I don't want to deter anybody else from collecting their childhood, as you can't replace that. But really excited about going to a different part of the United States and checking out and talking to fans and offering my homebrew games. So my homebrew games, if you haven't heard, I did a video on 3 Atari homebrews that I'll be offering at these expos, as well as Block'em Sock'em. And this is a new puzzle game for Sega Genesis, and had a lot of fun working with Second Dimension on that collaboration, and looking forward to possibly doing other things. For people that aren't going to be at the shows, stay tuned. I'm working on a surprise, maybe a surprise offering for those that can't attend the events. It'll be a limited supply thing, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, fingers crossed. Stay tuned for December. So I'll make a small announcement, hopefully by then, about something that I'll be offering for people that can't attend shows.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you. It's been a few months. It's been since Midwest Gaming Classic that we've been able to hang out, and Columbus is an awesome city. There's a great gaming culture in Columbus, which is not something I expected in the slightest going there, because I mean it's Ohio. People don't really think of Ohio as this kind of little epicenter of classic gaming, and it's there. It's
Good
so
food
neat to
too, right?
experience. Oh, fantastic food.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic food.
I'm looking forward to some good food. So just open to whatever, and just looking forward to hanging out with your friend, and
Same.
just having a good time. You go to these expos and it's really about the community.
Yep.
With PRGE coming up and Torg, I'm really looking forward to just talking games with people, and come up, you want to talk games, I'm happy to. And I think that's the greatest thing about these conventions, is the connection.
Yeah.
to the gaming community, and really missed that. It's been a while. So it's been a while, especially for Portland, 3 years.
Yeah.
So that's going to be great to see that. I'm sure it's going to be huge. I'm really excited about it. But talking about some of the other experiences, like you were talking about Korgs, those events offer a totally different experience, and just I get excited hearing about it because like I just see a bunch of vendors set up, and it's kind of has that flea market vibe, but everybody's selling games.
Yep.
Holy cow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And so those are the types of events that you can get some really good deals, and you can find some things that are really, really obscure, and that's just right up my alley. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, when I was at Korg's, one of the things that I was there for when we were at Midwest Gaming Classic, Chris from Game Dad picked up ColecoVision boxing glove controllers
Oh
that
yeah.
were for the Rocky game, but he
Oh
couldn't
yeah.
find the Rocky game when I was there. So like the main thing I was on a hunt for at Korg's was to find Rocky for him. And
Little Rocky.
it took me legitimately all day going to every single, there it is, yeah, that one right there. I went to every single vendor and finally found a copy for him.
Yeah.
And it was on top of all the stuff I found for myself and for my wife and my son. It was just so much amazing content and quality stuff where it wasn't like, there's been expos I've gone to where it's been a lot of PlayStation stuff, a lot of Xbox stuff, and that's great. I love the PlayStation 2. I love the original Xbox and the 360, but I go for I go to those expos for older stuff that's harder to find and crazy stuff that I didn't even know existed. That's the stuff that gets me really excited that I really want to try out. And that's the kind of experience I had at the shows in Columbus. And I'm looking forward to going back. So,
Me too. Me too. I'm looking forward to checking them out. And yeah, and like I said, really our friendship has gone beyond YouTube,
yep.
and just hanging out with you in person, in the Midwest was just awesome. And then when you came and visited me on the West Coast, that was great. I know it wasn't just me, but when you were on the West Coast and having vacation, that was really special. So it was great. All right, upcoming games. There's a couple. So there's a couple that are coming out, and go ahead and talk, Jay, about what you're looking forward to.
The one I am most looking forward to right now is Bayonetta 3. I am a huge fan of the original two games. I think they're some of the strongest games that Platinum developed. And the third one has been teased for so long now. It was one of those games where people are just like, it's never going to come out. It's never going to happen. And just keeping the faith, wanting it to come out. And it's finally here in like 3 weeks. And I cannot wait.
Is that Switch exclusive?
It is Switch exclusive. Yeah.
That's crazy. One thing Nintendo has done a really good job with, and thing that surprised me now, there's pros and cons. For the pro is there's something coming out all the time, all the
Yep.
time. The con is that you can sometimes easily overlook releases. There's releases coming out every day.
Yeah.
And better or worse, some of it's garbage, some of it's not. Some of it, these indie titles get sneezed out, and it's easy to overlook it.
Yeah.
And so what I recommend for people is what I love about Nintendo is you can go on their Switch and you can see what's coming and anticipated releases.
Yep.
They do a good job at saying, hey, this is coming soon. You can check that right on the console. I think that's great. And I sometimes do that. I also check what has just been released because I often miss things. There's two releases that I'm looking forward to. One doesn't have a release date. I reached out to the company and I want to cover it. And it's called Vengeful Guardian Moonrider. It's like if Shinobi and Strider had a baby.
Nice.
It's a 2D, like looks 16-bit graphic style, art style, and it looks amazing. It looks just great. It's coming out on Steam too, and I think the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So it's weird.
Nice.
I don't think it's coming out on Switch yet.
Okay.
So, but I want to play it. Really excited about that. The other thing too, there's Lego's coming out with a game called Brick Tales, and that looks like a puzzle adventure game. Looks really interesting, and that's coming out this month. And another game that I think is going to surprise people. So many great Lego games. They come out all the time. But yeah, those are games that like if I wouldn't have researched or saw, oh, this is coming, I would have just totally overlooked it.
I actually just going off of that, I just thought of one that I added to my wish list that comes out tomorrow or Monday. Actually, it's called Wizorb,
Oh
uh,
yeah,
and it's been on Steam for years.
yeah,
I've been
on
on a brick,
Ouya as well.
yeah, I've been on a brick breaker kick lately.
Yeah,
I've always loved brick breaker games.
yeah.
And I'm actually putting together a brick breaker video, and Wizorb is kind of the last one that I'm waiting for to come out to kind of be the bow on the package of this entire video. And I'm just stoked for it. It's going to be great. And that's actually kind of going back to what I said earlier about Carl. There's an arcade mini game that you can unlock in Carl where you find different games that you can put in there, and there's an Arkanoid game that you can
What?
get. And I was like, oh, this is
That's
great.
cool.
This is right up my alley.
I need to
So
check that out. It's only like $10 too, right?
yeah, it's pretty cheap, and there's for you there is a Robotron clone in the arcade as
What?
well. Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
good. It's fun.
All right. I'll need to check that out. So yeah, just gosh, there's so many games coming out. There's events. I'm definitely going to be staying busy. So I would like to have you on again, and I would like this to be an ongoing series.
I'm
And
down.
so in
Let's
the
do it.
comments, yeah, would you like to come on again?
Yeah, I think I can make that
Okay.
happen.
So in the comments below, put some topics that you would like us to talk about, and we might consider some of those in our next episode 2, or official episode 2. Though this is the unofficially this is episode 2, but it's episode 1 of the Super Retro Brothers from Another Mother. And Jay, where can people find you?
You can find me online at Square Pegs. I am the one without Sarah Jessica Parker in the videos. If Square Pegs Gaming is the best way to look it up, because otherwise you're just going to get an old 80s show. You can also find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Pretty much if there is a social media platform, I'm on it to varying degrees of involvement. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I would love to have folks stop by. I just passed 3,000 subscribers a couple weeks
Yay.
ago.
Awesome.
And yeah, I'm now just keep on motoring. That's the job. So
All right. Well, I look forward to having you on again, friend.
thank you.
And what did you folks think of these topics that we talked about? What are you looking forward to playing? What are you currently playing? And are you going to any gaming events? In the comments below, put those things, and I would love to respond as I have time. I want to thank everybody for coming to my channel. If you like what you see, consider hitting like and subscribe to both of us,
Absolutely.
and make sure you get updates for upcoming videos as we upload every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. Let's keep it positive. This is Immortal John Hancock, and
Jay from Square Pegs,
you take care.
and stay square.